Hi everyone, it's Chris, and I'm back for part 2 of this card. This is the interior of the card, and I have chosen to make this a gift card holder. So I am starting with a top fold card base, and I've made a template. This is an A2 sized piece of cardstock, and I'm going to make a template for cutting those little slots to hold the gift card. So I want this sort of in the middle of my card, and I'm just going to use a pencil. I've lined it up and just putting some little dots of where I need my little slots to be. And now I'm going to use the 90-degree angle. This is from the My Sweet Petunia's Creative Corners. And just using the grid on my craft mat, I'm just kind of penciling in my lines of where I'm going to make my cuts with a craft knife. I'm double checking with the gift card just to make sure that I have the little slots long enough to hold this. And then again, I'm using that creative corner, the 90-degree angle, as my guide, kind of a straight edge to make those cuts. Now this is my template. This is just that A2 size piece of cardstock. And I'm just going to test this and make sure that my gift card fits in there. And then I'm going to use this template on the inside of my card base. I'm using some washi tape to hold that template in place. And then I'm using, again, those 90-degree corners to use as a straight edge, and I'm just going to slice right in those marks that I've made on the template through my card base. Now I'm going to peel that off, and I will test to make sure that my gift card fits in the right spot. Now I'd like to put in an interior sentiment, and I want to use the two stamps that say Holiday Joy, but they're a little tricky to line up together to make sure that they are level. So I'm going to just show you a little trick using the plastic carrier sheet that came with your stamps in your MISTI to line those up. First, I've placed the word holiday and stamped that. And now I am going to remove that stamp and I'm going to place joy. Well, it's a little tricky to get that perfectly lined up with the one that I just stamped. So I'm going to put that carrier sheet in my MISTI. And I'm going to ink up the word joy. Now I'm going to put my card underneath that plastic. And I see that I stamped the word joy just a little bit too low here. So I'm going to start that over. I'm going to move it up higher so I can manipulate that card underneath the plastic and line that up better. I had it too low so that the base of the MISTI was kind of blocking it. So now that I've stamped it a little higher on the plastic, I can just slide my card base right underneath and get it level, and then remove the plastic and stamp right onto my card. And I have lined up the two words perfectly. Now I want to do the same thing. I want to put to and from at the bottom of my gift card. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stamp the word to first, and then I will use the plastic to help me line up the word from. So first I will be stamping on the plastic and then lining up my card base underneath the plastic. And I'm going to move those MISTI magnets to hold that card base in place and stamp. So now those are lined up. Now I'm going to stamp in the letter O, which actually I'm going to use the little bell images. And I'm going to use a block to stamp those, which always kind of scares me because I love my MISTI and it gives me pretty perfect results every time. And I'm going to do the interior of the bell, the little holes, and I see that I didn't do a really great job with my block. The one in the word joy is a little lower than I was hoping for, but that happens sometimes when I am block stamping. So I did those little dots with black onyx, and now I'm going to use the name of this is Prickly Pear. Prickly Pear ink is a perfect little brass color. So I have stamped the exterior of the bells over those dots. But, you know, I'm a little OCD, so the one in the word joy is a little low for me. So rather than give up on this card that I've worked hard on, I'm going to draw a little bow at the top of this. And I'm using a Copic multi-liner. And the blue ink is quite a good match to the blue denim ink that I've stamped with. So after scribbling a little bit on my scratch paper, I have just drawn in a little bow, which is going to hide my little stamping mistake. So now I want to emboss the front of my card base. So I'm using the snowflake backgrounds embossing folder. It's made by Doris. And now that I've embossed that, I'm going to assemble the label that I showed you how to stamp in the first video in this blog post. So here we are adding liquid glue and just gluing that label frame to the card base, and I'm adding the oval, and then I will add my little focal oval that I had inked up and added the reindeer. And there is my card with my gift card, and it is ready for the holidays. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.